Hello and welcome, I'm the Cyber Viking, and this is Wonderland. We're going to be doing some library hijacking, some path hijacking, and trying to keep what's left of our fragile little sanity together. I mean, after all, we're all mad around here. Okay, let's start on our journey, shall we? I've got the VPN already up and running. The box is spooled up and ready to go. So let's have a look. So Wonderland, fall down the rabbit hole and enter Wonderland. Enter Wonderland and capture the flags. Not a huge amount of information there, but we'll dive in. So, as always, first thing we do is good old nmap. So nmap, tag SC for script, tag SV for versioning, tag V for verbose. We are going over to here, copy you, and paste you in, and then we'll output that in an nmap format to nmap init. And let's see what we get. So we've already got port 80 and 22, so 22 is your SSH, port 80 HTTP, so they're hosting a web page of some sort. Doesn't seem to have found anything else. No. HTTP title, follow the white rabbit. So let's have a look at the web page, shall we? Let's come over here. So follow the white rabbit. Curiouser and curiouser, cried Alice. She was so much surprised that for the moment she quite forgot how to speak good English. I think I'd have issues speaking if I saw a white rabbit as well, a talking white rabbit more importantly. Alright, well let's have a look and see what we can find. As always with a web page, first thing I like to do is view the page source, see if there's anything tucked away that shouldn't be. Nothing particularly leaping out here. Let's have a look at the good old robots.txt. And nothing there. All right. Okay, so we didn't get anything there. Let's do some directory fuzzing. Let's get GoBuster on the go. So, GoBuster in directory mode with URL of HTTP and you going to, or using the word list of user share word lists. GoBuster directory list 2.3 medium, and we'll output you to GoBuster init. Right, let's see what you can find. Okay, so we've got image and R. Alright, let's have a look at the images, see if there's anything going on there. Okay, so IMG. Okay, interesting. It's not normally that sort of style layout, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Let's just have a look at these. So there's Alice at the little door. Same picture, but it's a PNG, and the white rabbit picture. Now, as we know, nothing in Wonderland is ever what it seems, so let's download each of these. So we'll save you in our Wonderland, Alice Door. Yep, so we'll save you. Let's do the same with you. And, yep. And with you. Okay. Alright, back to the terminal. Oh, looks like we found a poem directory as well. Alright, we'll have a look at that in a minute. But first, let's have a look at these. So let's just make sure that we've got them all. Yep, so we've got Alice Door, the two versions of that, and White Rabbit. So let's see if we've got any steganography going on. Is there anything hidden away behind those pictures? Now, not every tool works for every file type. So for PNGs, I like to use zsteg. So let's have a look at that. So Alice Door PNG. And looks like Zsteg didn't find anything. Okay. So for the JPEGs, we'll use StegSeek. And so the file name, alice.jpg, and this can run a password check as well. So we'll use user share word lists rocku and see if we get anything there. And nope, nothing in particular going on there. Or it's got a really, really weird passphrase. So let's try again with White Rabbit. So White Rabbit again, user share word lists rocku. Oh, and we found a passphrase of nothing, apparently. Original file name of hints.txt, and that's been extracted out. All right, let's have a look at that, shall we? So let's just make sure that it's there. There we go, the White Rabbit one JPEG out. So let's cat that, White Rabbit JPEG dot out. Okay, follow the rabbit. Fair enough. Right, let's just save that, just in case. So I'll just pop you in Sublime. We'll come back to that if we need to. Let's have a look at that poem directory. It's interesting. Let's come over here. So let's see what we've got. Ah, the Jabberwocky. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toes did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome wraths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite and claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumbious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand. Long time the manxome foe he sought, so he rested by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And, as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, the vorpal blade went snick-a-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. Hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, beamish boy! O frabjous day, callooh-callay! He chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome wraths outgrabe. So, suitably mad, but not a huge amount of use to us right now. Let's have a look at the page source. Nothing really going on there. All right, let's come back to the terminal. Oh, yes, /r. What were you? What were you? Let's have a look. Into R. Keep going. Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here? Now, that note said, not follow the rabbit, but follow the R-A-B-B-I-T. So, I wonder, let's go to R-A? Yes, there we go. Well, that depends a good deal on where you want to go, said the cat. I don't much care, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. So long as I get somewhere, I explained it as an explanation. Oh, you're sure to do that, said the cat, if only you walk long enough. Alice felt that this could not be denied, so she tried another question. What sort of people live about here? In that direction, the cat said, waving his right paw around, lives a hatter. And in that direction, waving the other paw, lives a March hare. Visit either you like. They're both mad. Okay, let's have a proper look around. Make sure we're not actually in a rabbit hole here. Just a dead end going nowhere. So again, let's have a look at the page source. Open the door. Sure to do that. In that direction. What do we have here? That looks suspiciously like a username and password, and one heck of a password it is. How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail? Fantastic. Right, let's copy you, and we'll drop you there, so we don't lose it. Okay, let's see if that will work on the SSH, shall we? Let's see, we can close you for now. Don't need you at the minute. Nothing else. These are just various redirects and bits and pieces. We don't need to worry about that lot. So let's, yeah, we can clear you off. So let's SSH Alice at, let's come back here again and pop you in there. Sure you want to continue connecting? Yes, I am. And password. Copy you and paste you. And there we are in as Alice. So let's have a look around and see what we can find. So what's in Alice's directory? We have the root flag. That's interesting. Oh, okay, right, yeah. So it's still only readable and writable by root, but it's here in the user directory. Of course, it's Wonderland. Everything's messed up here. I wonder if the user flag is in the root directory. I wonder. Let's try that. So if we cat root user.text. And there we are. Fantastic. Yep, so they've messed that one around. All right, so let's copy you, and we will pop you in over here. There we are. Curiouser, and Curiouser is indeed our flag. So now let's try and get ourselves to root. Right, what else have we got here? We've got this Walrus and the Carpenter Python script. Now, I wouldn't normally recommend running random scripts that you find, but we're in a training environment, we're in a box. We should, he says, be okay. So let's fire that up. So Python 3, Walrus and the Carpenter. And we've got some lines from something. All hopping through the waves. I've had to ask you twice. And cleared away. The Carpenter said no. Okay, so it looks like it's just a bunch of lines from, I'm assuming, the Walrus and the Carpenter story or the poem. All right, interesting. So let's have a look at Alice's privileges, if we can. So we'll do sudo tac l. We need Alice's password, which is right there. So we'll recopy you and back in there. Okay, so Alice can run the following commands on Wonderland. So as rabbit, we can run Python. All right, so we can run the Walrus and the Carpenter script as rabbit. Excellent. How can we use that to our advantage? Let's have a look. So let's see what's going on with the actual script itself. So if we just cat Walrus. And let's come back up here. All right, so we've got import random poem. So I'm assuming this is the Walrus and the Carpenter poem. I'm not going to be reading that one out. We'll be here all day. And then for Iron Range 10, random choice, poem split, new line. Okay, so yeah, so it's grabbing 10 random lines out of this, and then it'll say the line was blah at each one. Okay. All right. Well, if we go back up to the top, you see here where it says import random. So it's getting the Python library random and adding that into our little script. However, they haven't used the absolute path to say exactly where the random library is held. Like, say, for example, here where it says user bin Python 3.6. They've said grab the random library, which normally isn't a massive issue. However, because we're looking to do some nefarious things, we might be able to take advantage of that. How are we going to take advantage of that? Well, what Python does when it's looking for one of its libraries, it has a set list that it'll work its way through of different places that it'll look for in order. And we can have a look at those by checking here. So if we do Python 3 taxi, single quote, import sys, and then print sys.path, and close that off there. And there we are. These are the lists of the different places that it will look. And that very first one, just that 2 quotes with nothing in it, that means check in whatever directory we happen to be in right now. Check the working directory. Then, if you can't find it there, it'll go to user-led Python 3.6. Then there, and it'll work its way through. So the first place it's going to look is here. So, if we create our own file called random, then the Python script will look in the working directory and go, oh, there you are, there's the random script, lovely, I'll run that instead. So how do we go about that? Well, we need to create a file called random.py, and we'll use Nano for editing that. So what do we want it to do? Well, basically, we just want it to just open up a new terminal instance, and because it's being run as Rabbit, it should open it up as Rabbit, and therefore we've jumped up a level. So what do we need? We need to import pty, and then pty.spawn, and a bit of bin bash, and we close that off. And that should be all we need. So if we exit, save, yep. And then we need to make sure that it's actually executable. So chmod plus x for random. Let's give that a little check. Yep, there's our random.py. It is executable by everyone. Okay. So let's run this, and let's actually run it as it's said to be done. Up here. So what we need is all of that. So we'll copy you. We'll come back down. What we need to do is we need to do sudo, because that's how we're running it. As the user Rabbit. And then what are we running? We are running that. Okay. And there we are. We are now Rabbit. Right, well, let's see what Rabbit's got going on, shall we? So if we change directory, so we'll come back out by 1, and we'll go into Rabbit. There we go. And what do they have? Okay, so this one here highlighted in red, that is an executable. But it's also got, if we look over here, doop, that little bit there, that little bit there, that means that it has got the SUID set, the SUID, the set owner user ID. So what does that mean? That means that whoever runs this, it will be run as if the owner has run it, which in this case is root, which is very, very nice. That might be something that we can take advantage of. Let's see what it does. Again, I wouldn't recommend normally just running random executables that you find in a directory, but we're in a training environment. We should be okay. So let's see what we get from Tea Party. Welcome to the Tea Party. The Mad Hatter will be here soon, probably by Sunday 23rd at 6:30. Ask very nicely, and I'll give you some tea while you wait for him. Okay. Interesting. And then, segmentation fault, core dumped. Okie doke. That's random. Alright, so probably by, I mean, that's now, well, that's right now. Okay. Not too sure what's going on there. I think what we need to do is we need to get this over to our side so we can give it a proper look at. So what we'll do is we'll get a quick Python server set up here, essentially opening a little window for us to get some bits out. So again, we'll use Python 3 TryHackMe http.server, and we'll use port 9001. That's always a good one to go for because it's really not used for anything. Right, so you can see that is now sat here waiting for anything to go on. So we'll split you, and what we'll do over here is we will wget to http our IP. Again, copy from there. And we are going to port 9001, and the thing that we want to grab is Tea Party. There we are, we confirm on both sides. It got the request over there, and we have the file there. And there it is, Tea Party. Oh, okay, so it saved it as Tea Party 1, because I've still got a copy of it originally from when I was doing my test runs. Should have cleaned that out before. My bad. Never mind. Let's chuck this into Ghidra, which is a decompiler, and let's see what we can find out from it. So we go to Ghidra, and so we want to do a new project, non-shared, because it's just for us. Yep, in Wonderland, and the project name will be Party. And then we need to import the file that we're looking at, which will be Tea Party. So, yep, it's executable. That'll do nicely. This is just the initial information that it's got from it, the number of bytes, number of instructions, all that lot. Don't need to worry about this at this point. And what we've got here in the tool chest, we've got a couple of options. We've got code browser, debugger, and version tracking, and we want to use the code browser. And then what we'll do is file, open, and Tea Party. Yes, so I'd like to analyze that now, please. And analyze. So then this is just going to do all its various checks, you see, and it's blocked it out. So we've got a lot of information going on here, which doesn't make an awful lot of sense to the casual viewer. So let's see if we can't make this a little bit easier to look at. So if we go to the functions, and we do function, and that's what we want to see, main. There we go, so this is the main sort of working part of it. And let's bring this over, here we go. So now we can see what it's actually doing. Okay, so set UID to OX3B and set GID, so that's the group ID. There. Prints, welcome to the Tea Party, Mad Hat will be here soon. And then echo out probably by date next hour. Okay, so that should have produced the time an hour later on. I think I've got a bit of a syncing issue between my my terminal and my Kali, but that's fine. And then it puts ask very nicely, and I'll give you some tea while you're waiting for him. Get character. Oh, get character. So and then put segmentation fault. So basically, whatever we do next, whatever key we press, it'll then just print segmentation fault core dump. So it wasn't actually having an error; it was just playing with us. All right. So we've got a couple of important bits of information. First thing is this one here. Because now, as I said before, the steward was set so that it would run as root. However, what this is doing now is it seems to be changing it to someone else. OX3EB. So what does that mean? Well, let's go and have a look. So if we come back over here and we just do a little bit of Google searching. So OX3EB to decimal. OX3B to decimal. Lovely. And let's have a look at what we've got. Yes, yes, yes. That's fine. So here we are. So OX3EB comes out to 1003. Okay, so who is 1003? Well, let's come back over here again. We can cancel you off now. And if we do cat, let's see, password. Let's have a look. There we go. So 1003 we can see is the Hatter. Okay, so when it runs, it's initially being run as root, but then the first line it says, right, now change it to be run as Hatter. Okay. So what other information did we have in here? Well, the other interesting bit is the date function. Now, similar to before in the Walrus script, you can see here for echo, they've actually gone for the absolute path of bin/echo, but date, they're just calling the function. And so this will do something very similar to what Python did, is it's got a set routine that it'll go through to look for where that date function actually is, and we can have a look at that. If we come back over here, and then all we have to do is just do echo, and then path, and that shows us that the first place it looks is user local sbin, then user local bin, user bin, etc., etc. So what we can do is we can add in our own path here, so it will look there first rather than all of these ones. Then all we have to do is just create the file called date, and then it'll run the date file. So let's do that. So first thing we'll add the new path in. So we want to export path, and the path that we are exporting to this is home/rabbit. Where are we exporting that to? We are exporting that to path. So if we come back up and have a look at echo path, and there we go, we can see the first place that it's going to look when it's calling any system information is home rabbit. So one thing to mention is that this change is only for this particular login session. So if we were to log out of SSH and then back in again, the home/rabbit would no longer be on there. We could make it a permanent change, but it's not something that we need to do right now. We just need it to run for this time. So let's get our date file sorted out. I don't believe we need you anymore right now. So again, we'll jump into Nano, and we are calling the file date. Unable to create directory, permission denied, required for saving, loading, search history, or cursor positions. That's fine, we don't particularly need to worry about that. And so what we're doing is we will put in a little, what we call a shebang. So this is essentially telling the system this is what we're running, or what language we're running in, which is going to be bin bash. And then all we need to do is just get it to open a new terminal session. So again, so that's just going to be bin and bash. We're just saying let's open a bash terminal. That's all we want. But because it's being run as Hatter, it'll open up that session as Hatter. He says, trying to sound confident. So let's exit out of you, save you. Yep, lovely. Again, we'll check that it's there. That's gone a bit weird. Let's just clear you off. There we go, that's better. And yep, so there's date. Again, we need to make you executable. So chmod plus x date. And again, we'll just confirm. Yep, lovely, that is now executable. So let's run tparty, and fingers crossed, it all works the way we're expecting it to. So tparty, run. And look at that, where it was trying to grab the date, it instead opened up a new bash terminal, and we are Hatter. So let's have a look at what Hatter's got going on, shall we? So we'll come out and into the Hatter directory. Profile password. Password, we like passwords. Excellent. So let's have a look at you. All right. Why is Raven like a writing desk? A mighty fine question. Let's just copy you and pop you in over here. So that would be Hatter. Also, we don't know exactly what that's for. Let's have a look and see if we can SSH in as Hatter. SSH Hatter at, let's grab the IP again. Back to here. And password. Copy you. Paste in there. And yeah, lovely. So we're in fully as Hatter rather than through layers of different users. So that's good. So what we'll do is we'll close that side. So we've got a proper one over here. All right, so what else can we do with Hatter? All right, let's have a look at Hatter's permissions. So sudo tag L, sudo password for Hatter, grab you again. And sorry, Hatter may not run sudo on Wonderland. Okay, fine. So we're going to have to do some investigating into other bits and pieces. And for that, I think we'll get our friend LinPeas involved in this. So what is LinPeas? Well, LinPeas stands for Linux Privilege Escalation Awesome Script. Essentially, it runs through all these various different checks that you could do manually if you wanted to, but it just blasts through them all to save you an awful lot of time, which is brilliant. It doesn't actually do the privilege escalation itself, it just points you in the right direction. It's a very, very handy tool. There's also a Windows version, oddly enough, called WinPeas. So to get it onto the box, we need to do the reverse of what we did before for getting the Tea Party executable. So what we'll do is we will split you again, and what we'll do is we will navigate to where LinPeas is housed, which is in user share peas and LinPeas. Just to confirm that it is actually there. Yeah, there we go. linpeas.sh. That's the one that we're wanting. So what we'll do is we will have the server on this side, opening the window on our side to allow the other side to grab it. So again, Python 3 attack http.server, and we'll use 9001 again. So that's there, ready and waiting. And over on the Hatter side, we will wget http over to me. So 10.11.6.187 on port 9001, and we are grabbing linpeas.sh. And there we are, confirmed on both sides. We got it. Lovely. So we can cancel you off now. We'll close you so we've got a bit more room. So let's just confirm that we've got you. And there's LinPeas. We need to make executable. So chmod plus x for LinPeas. Yep, there we go. All right, so let's run LinPeas, shall we? This can take a little bit of time, so we'll fast forward through this bit. Okay, so that's all done. So I scrolled back up to our big fat happy pea here. And let's see what they found. What we're looking for is anything that's highlighted in red and yellow. That's something that LinPeas has gone, ooh, this is definitely something that needs looking at. Anything in red, it could be might be worth a look in, but the red and yellow is what we really want to be looking for. So let's have a little scroll through and see what we can see. And you can see it is checking all sorts of things, absolutely loads. Here we've got some potential, again, I was saying potential, it's not 100% accurate, potential privilege escalation vectors here. We may come back to that if we need to. What else have we got? All sorts. Nothing leaping out yet. Let's keep looking. I'm only doing a very quick scan over now, just looking for that black and red, so the red and yellow. Let's see what we can find. Oh, hello. What do we have here? Files with capabilities. So user bin perl cap set UID. So capabilities function in a very similar way to the steward, but the steward is actually attached to the file itself, whereas capabilities is basically it's the kernel is dictating how it's run. So to show you what that looks like, let's actually go over to here to user bin. So we'll copy you. Let's just jump right down to the end. And we will cd into you, and then let's have a look. Let's find Perl up here somewhere. There we go, and Perl, there we are. So other than the Hatter group being part of it, it wouldn't normally show up anything untoward. You can see it's just got your normal read, write, execute. There, no mention of any steward settings. So your normal initial search wouldn't find anything. But we know that it's got the capabilities set. So if we were to run Perl, it would be run as the owner, which in this case is root. So let's jump over to GTFO bins and see if they've got anything for us. So let's come over here, GTFO bins, and Perl. There we go. Shell, reverse shell, file, read, steward, sudo, capabilities. If the binary has the Linux capset UID capability set, which it does, it can be used as a backdoor to maintain privileged access by manipulating its own process UID. Okay, so we don't need to worry about these first two lines. This is just making sure that it's actually been set. What we need is this line here. So we'll copy you, back over to you, and pop you in, and then it's just a hash. What does that mean? We're root. Excellent. So let's just, we can just straight away just cat home. No, it was in Alice, wasn't it? Home Alice root.text. And there it is. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. Let's copy you in. Copy. Drop you over there. And Kalukale, a frabjous day. We have done it. So that was Wonderland. I particularly like this one. It's not massively tricky, but it does show off a couple of different ways of how we can take advantage of the way that Linux and Python works with the library hijacking and the path hijacking. So if you found this useful, give us a thumbs up. If there's any other TryHackMe boxes you'd like me to have a go at, leave a message in the comments. And until next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, and happy hacking.